Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to Vine Arts and the Stream. It's a very sort of grim day, but I wanted to share a few things with you at the beginning of the new year. I want to start with a scripture here that says, "Nevertheless, I'm not ashamed, for I know whom, not what, but whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed to him until that day." So I just want to talk a little bit for a minute before I share my special Abraham Lincoln event for you. The idea of keeping. And we're going to go into another room here, which actually I call the keeping room, because in my home in Pennsylvania, we had the keeping room. And part of what I did when I built this log cabin was to add a keeping room, which used to be where old people in farmhouses, and they just kept house. So that's why it was called the keeping room. The fire was there, the kitchen, it was a keeping room. And so I'm going to stand in front of the old corner cupboard that was in my childhood home in the keeping room and share with you the Gettysburg Address. Yeah, which I learned in the 5th grade more than 60 years ago. And I just want to share it with you for a couple of reasons. Partly because we are now in this country engaged in a great civil war. So as you listen to it, I ask that you listen to it and have it be relevant, because God is going to bring out of this conflict that we're having in our country right now, again, victory for his purposes. So come to the keeping room and let me share with you from my heart the Gettysburg Address. Bless you. Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth onto this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We're met on a battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.